shining a beacon on the bizarre.
Well, I suppose I better change the little whiskey drip on our kid while he's hibernating, otherwise he'll go to pieces. You know, I mean, it's just got to take this bottle down under the stairs here, you know. I'll just get cupboard door open a bit, you know. Oh, it stinks of shit in here. Oh, he's waking up. Oh, he's waking up early. Oh, it's absolutely horrible. All sides of his cardboard box are all wet. Oh,
is that you, Skip?
It is. What you do waking up early?
Oh, it seems like mild weather. Is it time? Is it spring?
And it's not spring, our kid. No, it's not.
Nice and kind of warm though.
We're just having a little bit of a spell of warmer weather, our kid. So really, we shouldn't be waking you up at all because you should be staying in your box for a few more months.
I feel like I'm going to do an early one. I'm going to be right good boy. I think that whiskey's... I don't know if I can do that anymore with that whiskey.
Well, I have been distilling it myself because we ran out of the bells that you like. Your intravenous drip of cheap scotch.
Oh, it keeps me down though. It keeps me snoozed.
It does keep you nice and snoozed, doesn't it? It stops the DTs from setting in.
Shaking like a shiting dog.
But well, here we are at New Year though.
What year is it?
It's 2025, aren't
That's
it?
so futuristic, isn't it? That's
It
like
is
some
really.
Buck Rogers year,
I
isn't it?
still can't understand why we're not all in like with shiny all-in-one jumpsuits.
Yeah.
And what I really want is me in a shiny all-in-one jumpsuit, sort of like urgently pointing a laser gun out to one side.
Yeah.
Or there's a scantily glad girl.
Yeah, like we like see-through plastic on us, something like that.
At my knees looking a bit alarmed.
Yeah,
Well, I'm like a six-armed space monster, sort of like looping near us. Yeah.
I could be like some weird golden kind of cyborg
That'd be
sidekick, you know what I mean?
It, yeah. We three, Peter. Yeah, like that.
We haven't made an effort at all, though, have we? As a human race, we've done it to ourselves. We could be all in them shiny suits, and we've not embraced it, have we?
No, I think it's because it's that's the look at the future. I don't think we want to ruin the future. We've still got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
But although I have actually looked into the reckon now, the Japanese have just made a little leap forward in the last, this year, and they reckon now floating cars are the future. They've sorted it out.
Have they?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Well done, the Japanese.
The Japanese, but when in doubt, wait for the Japanese to sort it for us. Well, they already do the floating trains, don't they? I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I've heard something about that. Yeah.
Trains, so it's basically what it is. It's like a magnet.
Yeah.
And they create the source of power for this magnet, so it just sort of levitates. But they have to create like a big electrical field to do this. But because it's frictionless, it's not in contact with any rails. It just flies along on these rails. Well, it is a rail still, but it's above it by
still floating in it.
It's still floating. You're frictionless, and I think that's good. So they worked out a way to do this with cars now, which is the whole of the road is this magnetised surface, right?
Jesus.
Which I think sounds quite dangerous. I think we
It
still
does,
need to be on
doesn't
a rail.
Yeah,
I think we still need to be. But
you're wearing a watch and you put it out, your hand out a window. You're stuck to a rail.
So I don't know. Well, it won't be stuck to it because it'd be like a reverse. So
you'd fly off.
I don't think it quite works like that. But the way they've actually increased the technology is what they've done is, because with the trains they've got to create like a constant magnetic field. They reckon it's almost like with one charge they create the polarity of a road, and then it just repels the specific magnetics of the cars. So you don't have to charge it again, so it's almost like no energy.
Wow, that's some clever shit.
So that could be clever shit, you know, if it works.
A lot of road to do, though.
There's a lot of road to do. There's a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well, I think they'd start by rather than doing the roads we have, they'd have specific magnetic routes.
Yeah.
I think it'd start like that. And then
it's a magnetic bypass.
Yeah.
So in a ring road of magneticums.
But it would be, that in a way, that is the future we want, though, isn't it?
He just downplays it loads, doesn't it, when you say it like that?
Yeah,
you're excited, and then you're just like,
a magnetic bypass, yeah, that's it. I don't know whether you'd have a car which can go on normal roads, then go on the magnet roads.
Yeah, but that might be hard to change over, might it? All rubbery tyre, then magnetic.
Well, I don't know really. I don't know whether it's a weight issue. I don't know whether it be. I mean, it might be one of these things like on Back to the Future where wheels all fall under.
Well, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you never get used to seeing that change, would you? You'd be like, look at that.
I know, but they've said it. I think it's by 2030 or something like that. They want to stop making all petrol cars in the whole wide world, sort of thing. So, and I, in a weird way, I'll miss a petrol car in a way.
I will, but I kind of find it funny for certain countries that rely on oil and all that. You're like,
Yeah.
not so rich now, eh?
I think there's still some South American countries where you don't have to pay for fuel.
Shit.
You don't have to pay for petrol.
Because there's so much there.
There's so much there.
Wow.
So you basically, it's all government subsidised, so that's a big part of their revenue. So you basically turn up to a petrol station, you just fill up and go away.
Jesus, that's
how
mental.
mad is that?
That is mental, isn't it?
You know, and even like Americans, when they come here and they see what the petrol prices are here, they just think it's absolutely Billy Bonks. It's like 3 times the price of what it is in America.
I mean, it was so bad with everything. I don't know what a pack of fags is in America, you know what I mean?
Yeah, cigarettes are very expensive out there.
Oh, they're expensive there as well?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't know about there, but I know they are here.
That's what I mean. I don't understand how anybody smokes. It's ridiculous.
It's a very expensive hobby, Arcade.
30 quid a packet or something.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, the good thing is, you see, it's like, I mean, do we really need magnetic cars where we are here? We've got our little sort of tobacco plot that we've got in the back there, little tobacco plants and stuff like that.
There's pipe weed growing next to it.
Pipe weed, yeah, that's it, the Cove pipe weed. And, you know, and we've got your dirty little still that we make things up, and it was subsidised with bells.
I've got my rubber ring when I want to go to mainland. I can just paddle over.
We've got all we need, and I think that's the secret of life, is have a simpler life.
That's nice.
You know,
like
and there's no simpler life than here at KRAKEN Cove, the podcast that shines a beacon onto the bizarre. And I'm Matt.
And I'm a New Year Benny.
Oh, isn't it nice having a New Year Benny?
Might even quit the piss. Might be the last bottle. I'm
not even saying it.
I said I might. I might.
But the thing is, you see, you'll try, but there's a big problem, big difficulty for you, which is that you're weak.
I'm so weak, Skip. Yeah. So even the thought of it terrifies me. What am I going to do? You've done well. How long now? Is it 2 years?
It'd be 2 years. It's 2 years exactly.
Is it?
2 years exactly since I quit the piss.
Well done with that. That's a strong mind, is that? That's a strong mind.
I'll tell you what, it's tricky over Christmas, Arcade.
I bet.
The pressure to just get leathered over Christmas.
That's all I've done. Just in my little cardboard box. Don't miss Christmas at all, though, in that box, honestly.
I think it is. I think Christmas is one of those huge pressures we put upon ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know? But I mean, I've been a busy boy, you see. I've been away doing my markets, selling art, doing that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, you're doing well
you've been in your box doing
Lots of dreaming, Arcade. Lots of dreams.
Nothing wrong with dreams, Arcade. I think that's quite a nice thing. Yeah. So I think while you've been dreaming there, I've also been collating a few stories.
Yeah.
So I think it's way past time that we do a little bit of casting.
Yeah. Sorry for the big sleep and missing all episodes. Sorry.
Because Ben genuinely did sleep.
All I've done.
On a number of bookings for Cove recordings.
That box is so comfy.
In there, farting and wrestling around in there.
Fumbling about.
So without further ado, let's get casting.
Oh, yes.
Well, I think something we need to address, and we haven't got any little paperwork for this. This is just
We're just go freewheeling, Arky.
We're going to go freewheeling straight off the top of the dome. I think it's something we should address and think about and talk about a little bit.
What is it? What?
It's the drone sightings or UFO sightings or UAP sightings over places like New Jersey.
New Jersey. Because it did start in England, didn't it, first? If you boil it back.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? So I want to keep that in mind. So it started over sort of like certain sort of what they call central sensitive sites or military sites over
American
in Wales.
military stuff, wasn't it?
It was
In
all over those sites in England and stuff like this, and people were talking about going, what the holy heck, what's happening here, right? Well, why are we getting these things? And the main thing people are asking, which I want to pinpoint, is why aren't the government doing anything about it? Why there no sort of, even like with the Chinese balloons, they actually send things up to sort of intercept them and stuff. This hasn't been happening here. Next thing you know, it's happening in New Jersey, sightings of all sorts of stuff in the sky, flying around, all sorts of oddities, you know what I mean? And they are saying, same thing there, the government's not doing anything about it. They're also saying, like, we're aware of the situation. Their response is ongoing. They've been very vague about how they're saying it. What is your thoughts on it?
Well, got the answer, Skip. Know all about it.
Oh, do you?
I do, yeah. My favourite channel, bit of TikTok.
Oh!
Got it all tied up in a nice little bow.
All right, who needs the news when you've got
Exactly.
TikTok?
Are you ready?
I am.
Hold on to your shorts, my Skip.
Yeah.
So, back in 1984, imagine desolate Russian suburb in the middle of nowhere, Kakistan or something like that.
Kakistan, yeah.
Arms market, yeah?
Yeah.
So, at the fall of the Soviet Union, 3 nuclear weapons went missing.
Right.
One of them at this. Now imagine GoldenEye. Have you ever seen GoldenEye? It's very much like that.
Wait a second.
Beginning of GoldenEye, Fucking
Are we talking about the James Bond movie?
Yes.
Bad one.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not bad in GoldenEye. It's all right.
I can't. When was the last time you saw GoldenEye?
Last year sometime. What are you doing?
I've not seen it about 30 years.
Just imagine GoldenEye without James Bond in it. So there's a Russian arms market, okay? Nuclear bombs getting flogged, yeah?
Right, okay.
It gets sold in mysterious... He maybe switches hands a couple of times.
Yeah.
Goes missing, no one knows where it is.
Right, okay.
Suddenly, they're saying it's out there. Someone sold it, and they're going to set this nuke off.
Oh, right, okay.
First, it were England.
Right.
And they got the gamma ray drones out. You know what I mean?
Right. So what's a gamma ray drone?
A drone that can smell gamma rays.
Right.
After 9/11 and all dirty bomb threats and that, they made these special drones that can smell gamma rays.
Yeah.
Started sniffing around the American bases and that. It's not in England, we're all right. Only little out.
So who's running these gamma ray drones?
The government.
All right, government. Right, okay.
Yeah. Or some like big international government thing. You know what
yeah.
Probably with a pyramid with an eye in it as a symbol or something.
Yeah.
So. It's not in England, it must be in America. This is it, it's going to happen in New Jersey. You know what I mean? So they send up the gamma drones again, sniffing round. They can't find it. So the international agreement with the like the aliens and that, they said, we need your help. Have you got a few spare orbs and stuff and help us with it? So we'll net it out properly. Orbs and gamma drones are all up there smelling gamma radiation, trying to find it, and before they set it off, like in fucking GoldenEye.
Right. So it's either Wales or New Jersey. They've checked out.
Yeah, they're the
not found them there. They thought, well, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's it. Gonna give up now. Gotta let it happen. Why New Jersey? Where's New Jersey? Is it next to New York?
It's on down from New York, isn't it? It's New Jersey. You know what I mean? It's one of the most populous areas in America is New Jersey, and I don't think there is a gamma. I don't think there's a. I don't know how to put this out.
It's pretty good though, isn't it?
I think there's so many loose nuclear material, shall we say, out there now from various places, be it for example, places like Iran that did dismantle their nuclear weapons program and things like this, right? They will have had nuclear material at hand to do something with it, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of it is traceable, so that but I think their problem is they know that if it's traced back to them, they get nuked. That's the issue with it, right? They get nuked. Same as like places like Russia and various.
I think it was very messy at end at Russian bit though.
It was, yeah.
There were a nuclear briefcase that went missing, wasn't there? I
don't know for sure, but
TikTok said it.
Yeah.
And then this big one.
But I think as well, it's all supposition, isn't it? It's guessology to say that's what all these drones are doing. They're all looking for a big nuclear bomb sort of thing, right? My thing is, and this is a very unpopular theory as well, is it's a flat. Yeah, it's all a flat. Right, because the reason for this, people will be screaming and saying, no, now. Right. So they're saying some of these drones that we've seen, they're saying they look like fighter pilots, fighter jets, but they don't act like fighter jets, right? Yeah. Some of them look like certain other aircraft but aren't reacting in that kind of way, right? There's orbs, there's all sorts of odd stuff floating around and flying about, different shapes, reacting very, very different ways. First of all, the fact that all of it's very, very different and acting in different ways, that immediately starts your suspicions sort of going, right? There was a very interesting guy that I looked at on YouTube who was sort of saying, like, right, okay, let's look at some of the sightings. And he correlated with the times of sightings and locations with flight paths. and he could correlate these with loads of them. And it's not all of them, not by any means. By any means. It's a bit, you can put some of them down.
There's been a couple of arrests as well about people flying drones when they shouldn't have been.
That's because there has been some drones.
There has
been some drones. So people have sort of seen drones are going up. They set their own drones up to have a look at things. That's muddied the waters. There's been sightings of things like genuine odd things in the sky, which you know. I mean, Arthur C. Clarke said, if you haven't seen something like a UFO of any kind in the sky, then you haven't been looking up. So there is things generally flying about, floating about, and the Starlink was one of the big ones people saw. People saw the Starlink. They keep seeing the Starlink going off and going, holy shit, what's that?
That is really frightening when you see it.
Yeah, when you see it all, it's just strings of weird UFO, sort of like flying things going past. All these things add up. But the main thing is this two sets of reactions which are important. The reactions that public, as in going absolutely Billy Bonk Bonk scatty about this, right? Really, really going mental about it. And the reaction of the government. Now, the government, obviously, there's loads of stuff invading their airspace, allegedly. They have no control on it whatsoever. They've got two choices: react or don't react. They've chosen not to react. The reason they've chosen not to react is because there's nothing to react to. If they thought to themselves, right, okay, what we could do is send a few jets up, or send some military helicopters up, let's go and intercept some of these things, let's be seen to be doing something, then the public would have been a lot more sort of like, so, right, the government's doing something, it's okay.
They're like, oh my god, it's a UFO invasion, the government are doing something like
they could say, look, we've been up, we've had a look, we genuinely can't find anything. And then that would add fuel to the fire of them saying sort of like conspiracy, or these foxy UFOs have evaded us. But they've actually, basically what they've done is they've sat back and says, we're just seeing what's happening. They're observing it, they're watching it. What they're doing is waiting for it to die down. And the flap will die down, which is it's already doing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it doesn't seem like there's any sightings anymore, does it? It's all like old shit or fake stuff now. I ain't really seen anything compelling through it. You know what I mean?
Because it hasn't been a real. It's been a classic flap. It's ticked all the boxes of the hysteria of. And when did it happen? Straight after Trump's inauguration. So it's in a time of. If we look back at the time of the Halifax slasher, pre-war, things are sort of like really stressful. People are worried about sort of like various other things going on. It's a time of high stress. What happens? You have a flap. Things go a bit astray, a bit awry. And people start pinning on something which they can almost like focus for their panic. Rather than being an unnameable wild panic, it's something they can say, oh, what am I worried about? That in the sky.
Get hold of it and chew it.
That's exactly it. They've been a dog with a bone. They've got hold of it, they've chewed it, and they've chewed all the fucking all the gristle's gone off of it now. And that's basically what it is. The people, if you were going to New Jersey, me and you would go to New Jersey tonight, right? We were going to go stand out in like an old lot somewhere and look up, right? From say 5 o'clock in the evening when it's dark through till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. We will see something. We'll see something flying past which is unexplainable. But the reality is there's every chance there'll be a jet, a plane, another drone or something like that, but not something nefarious and odd and like what the fuck's going on. But the reason as well is that there's so many people looking up in the New Jersey area. There's no coincidence the fact that it's the most highly populated area. There's so many people looking up, and everyone's looking up with the cameras. And because what happens with cameras, you focus. I tried it as a little experiment the other day. I went out and pointed my phone at Jupiter. And I sort of focused it in and out, and I tried to get a high thing on it, and I looked at the footage afterwards, and it seemed to be moving and rotating and crystallising and things, because the lenses are trying to sort of like make sense of it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that people have been doing on a massive scale now, which they've never been able to do before, is they've been running it through AI software to try and clean it up and discern what was actually there. Yeah. So this AI software is clinging onto these artifacts of filmmaking from phones and say, well, there might be like a blurred offshoot where it's just a blur. They've been adding like a point or a wing or something.
Yeah, that makes fucking... I forgot about AI, because it's no coincidence as well, isn't it, that AI is everywhere, then we're suddenly drones in the sky, we're either under attack or something weird's happening. Yeah. Because I think everybody at the back of their minds worried about AI, it's suddenly...
It's all part of the flap.
Yeah, it's part of your life so much, you're just squeezed in, and it? Think, well, this ain't going to stop, it's going to get more and more.
Well, as well, there was the Manchester, like an orb sighting, I don't know if you saw that, Manchester Airport, right near a plane taxi, and this weird floating kind of thing came down, and then took off again, straight off up into the air, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, first thing I saw, I thought, holy shit, what's this, right? Then I looked into it a little bit further, right, and it basically does look like a festival tent. Yeah. Now, you think of those little pop-up festival tents where they're multifaceted, they sort of spring together, they're a weird shape, super light, wind gets in it, off it whisks. Yeah. But what they did, they'd obviously ran it through cleanup software, this thing. So it made it look this multifaceted, metal, kind of odd dome drone thing, which is just floating, hovering like something from The Prisoner, like whoa, 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 whoa.
It's a fucking festival.
And it looks, and I think it could be, it might not be, but it's basically something which isn't an alien craft of any kind. It's just some sort of floating detritus, which is odd, which is taken off and gone straight up to the sky.
God, I tell you what, though, we can't believe anything that we fucking say, and we shouldn't have done for years, but now especially, we can't fucking believe anything.
Can't believe anything.
If you're running through that shit.
Well, even in the time that you sort of like might be looking on Instagram or TikTok or something like that, you know what I mean? And if you look at sort of like these, like you were on about before, like with the jiggly girls appearing on you say, oh, what's this? Oh, it's big jiggly tits. Right. I've done that now recently, right? All AI.
Is it?
Yeah, there's loads of... You just think, oh, these aren't real people anymore.
Jiggly AI girls?
Yeah, jiggly AI girls. Yeah, all that sort of stuff's gone sort of, I mean, it's not something... It's not I'm sitting there all day impressing pictures and go, they're not real tits.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I've seen...
there's that's basically what's happening now. It's weird guys in some odd little with some odd software just creating like loads of clickbait digital women for people, or other scenes as well. You might see in sort of car crashes, you might see various sort of things, and it used to look a bit crap, now it doesn't, it looks real, and they're just doing it for clickbait. So there's these odd people, or I don't know who it is who's making it.
Well, AI
doing it themselves. So a lot of this stuff now, this is what the panic and what the flap's going to be about, and unfortunately I don't think it's going to get any easier for any of us, because as the software gets better and better going into the future, you
can't trust fuck all.
You can't trust fuck all. The only thing you'll be able to trust is stuff you can actually... but, I mean, this is part of what I do as my main job, is the fact is that I thought, right, as authenticity, I create something from an art form, which is, like I said, nearly 2,000 years old. It's you're the only way to... I mean, people have asked me over the last few weeks, so, do you do this and you use like a laser jig? Do you use this and this? No. I use... My hands, and I use very fine chisels. I just carve wood, I carve lino, I carve material, and ink it and print from it onto very good handmade paper. You can trust that. Do you know what else you can trust? Vinyl. You know what I mean? You can just find it. You've got a piece of vinyl, you've got a nice little record sleeve in your hand, you've got your nice little baggie, come on, pop it on the record player.
Don't understand it at all, though, vinyl. I'm just like, what? Does what? Fuck off. That's black magic, is that right there?
But even then, that piece of technology, as the same as handmade art, vinyl, the found captures so many different nuances in music and sound in a gentler, softer way, that because of where digital recording works, it almost captures everything. You don't want to capture everything. What you want to do, you want to capture the nuance, the softness. You want to capture this, and that's what creates vinyl, makes it so nice and better.
It is, honestly. Big shout out to Daz, Happy New Year, but he's set up on his vinyl, and he's just got this wall of fucking vinyl.
I've seen it. It's insane. Yeah.
And how much he's spent on his system is disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. Even he cleans his record in this mad machine, you know what I mean? But it does sound fucking hell.
But there's other things that people have contact with in that same sort of way for reality. Is the main one, I think, is food. You know, everybody. If you want to talk about authenticity to people, right?
Yeah.
The main one, I think, to discuss it with them is food. So, all right, you can create artificial scents and artificial things like that, but we're very funny about like artificial food. We're all very much like sort of saying, oh, what we want is, you know, like a really good high quality piece of steak or something like that with a particular base and smoke it for so many hours, or whatever you do with these things to create this authentic, wonderful flavour. That's authenticity. You're not nobody's turning around and saying really, you know, oh well, you know, a steak's nice, but I found something loads better than steak. It's this thing that's made in a petri dish, and you know, these are happening. The scientists doing this sort of thing, but nobody's saying, nobody's actually saying to each other, do you know what I prefer? I prefer the taste of the stuff that's made in a lab. You know, and when we're talking about like, you know, farm grown this or cultivated that or organic this or organic that, you know, these are the things where quality is simple stuff, grown, hand grown with care and with time. So when you're talking about anything that happens in your life, think of it in that way. Robert M. Persig, when he wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, the whole thing, you can read the book and, you know, it does take you on that journey. But basically what it comes down to is quality. That is what is good in every aspect of your life, be it quality time, quality food, quality drink, quality journey.
Tell you what, that's inspiring me for New Year, is that, Skip? You know what I mean? You know what I'm going to do this afternoon?
Go on.
I'm going to have a closed-eyed wank. I ain't had one of them for fucking years. Since I was a kid. It must be like 20-odd years, maybe more.
Just imagine it.
Close-eyed wank. Let my imagination run wild.
Go back to the authenticity of childhood. Just imagine stuff.
Cock in hand, cock in paw.
In your box, having a closed-eyed. In your box, having a closed-eyed wank. Absolutely magical. Going back to the spirit of Christmas. What really matters now, authenticity. You know?
Welcome 2025, Skip.
Fucking close-eyed wank. Fucking hell.
It's the same as vinyl, isn't it? It's like that
old stuff. Fucking hellfire. Can you remember your first wank?
Yes.
Yeah, I can as well. What a shocker that was.
I could actually find mine back. It were Miss World in England, Sherwood Forest. I've never been able to find it on the internet, but I ain't looked right hard, you know what I mean? But yeah, I remember, what a shock that was. Yeah. Fucking hell, I thought we were dying.
I can't stop it. Fucking hell.
My God, that were a big one though.
The best one?
Yeah. Brought the
Can't get that back.
Yeah, it's Chase the Dragon after that, isn't it? Chase the Purple Dragon.
If we're talking about UFOs and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and drones and all that kind of malarkey, well, what we need to do, I think, is go a little bit back in time, right? We're going back to 1956, and we've got a guy here who knows his shit.
Nice.
It's an Irishman, right? And he's named Thomas J. Hutchinson. Now, all I've got here is literally an old newspaper report. And we're going to Monalmore, Northern Ireland, right, 1956. And it said, an Irishman named Thomas J. Hutchinson swore to police today that he captured a flaming red flying saucer, but it got away. Whoa. I'm not going to do the accent. Right. He had difficulty in holding it down. Whoa. He fucking jumped on it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Hutchinson said he was sitting at home with his wife Maud about noon on Friday when an object dropped from low clouds to the only dry piece of ground in the middle of a bog 200 yards from his front door. He and his wife sloshed across the bog and found the object lying motionless. It was egg-shaped, about 3 feet high and 15 inches in diameter, right? It was bright red, said Hutchinson, with 2 dark red marks at the end and 3 dark red stripes at the base of the saucer-shaped base. So near the base it had these marks. Wow. He says, I kicked it over. Right, so
Which you wouldn't touch
you get well into it, wouldn't you, first, you know what I mean?
I'll get a stick.
But he says, but it returned to its original position, so it's sitting egg-shaped upwards, right?
Like a weeble.
Like a weeble. Yeah, very much space
wobbled.
Weeble. Yeah,
it didn't fall
down, right? When he got down on his hands and knees to examine the baffling object more closely, it started to spin.
Whoa.
So he put a hammerlock on the saucer, right? So he got in a fucking wrestling move.
Hammerlock?
Yeah, so I believe what that is, I think you get your arm around it and you lock it with your other arm like that, you know what I mean?
Jesus, he's well asked.
So he's got it like that, right?
Yeah.
He says, the police station was the only place for such a wicked-looking thing as this, and I started to carry it there.
Jesus, so he's well hard, I love him.
But on the way to the village, right, of Loop, Hutchinson said he had to get through a thick hedge. So he's fucking wrestling a flying saucer through a hedge, right? He says, I put the saucer down for a moment. He says, and what do you think? He says, it started spinning again. He said before he had time to throw himself on the queer-coloured invader, it rose quickly and disappeared into the rain-laden clouds. Police at Luke called RAF stations at nearby Aldergrove. The commander said the object did not belong to the RAF. When the police sergeant asked the Air Force officer for his opinion and to what the gadget might have been, he replied, I would not even hazard a guess. Right, so there's it's basically what it is. It's just an egg-shaped thing.
Is that like a reproduction of it?
It kind of is, but it's like.
So it's not the real thing, obviously.
So, but I'm just showing Benny this. It's you can imagine it, a 3 feet high egg, right, by about a foot and a bit across, and it's got some weird, like almost like sort of Chinese symbols on it. You know what I mean?
Good.
But the issue you have with it being of the era, 1956. There's nothing in China being made like that. There's nothing in the world being made that look like that.
Absolutely. I don't think now.
Well, I mean, you could make something that did that now, really. You know what I mean? Egg-shaped, very, very odd.
Fucking hell, that's a really bizarre story.
But it was bright red as well, you know. And the fact what I like about it as well, it's coming down in rural Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, it's not coming down in sort of, I don't know, like we said, well, New Jersey, like we discussed. It's not coming down these areas.
London, it's common.
This thing was just coming down. It was almost literally like it's come down from space. It's landed in a spot. I mean, if we were sending like drones or whatever, as we have done to Mars, we wouldn't be looking. We'd be all right. We're selecting certain areas, but we're trying to find a good, clear, dry spot to land it in the middle of nowhere, not near anything. You want to kind of get it down somewhere safe rather than amongst the mountains or a load of rocks. It's found one dry patch in all these bogs. It's landed there. And then next thing you know, this fucking guy's come launching himself onto it and got it in a hammerlock.
What was it full of tiny little space aliens and stuff? And they were like, you know, oh my god, it's a massive monster.
Yeah, well, it could be the case. You know, they might have been looking only on like a macroscopic sort of scale. They've not really looked at
huge. You know, it expands.
And then this massive thing's come wading out of the mists to
what else could it be except for like some drone from an alien ship? Or there's nothing in nature. There's nothing.
There's nothing.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it's a very strange and unusual object.
I like that the police really took it seriously and got in touch with RAF and stuff like that, saying you need to check in this.
Well, I think the issue there as well. It's only sort of like it's not even 10 years after World War II ended.
Yeah, Cold War.
Yeah, because we're in the Cold. Yeah, exactly. We're in the Cold War. There's strange things happening. You've got to keep an eye on it. There's probably quite a lot of messages going about at the time, sort of saying, "Look, if you see out weird, get in touch," because you know people are frightened. There's high states of alert, and of course, where we are in the world as well, we're nearer to Russia than we are like in America are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We're sort of in the firing line. And so it's
a fucking loop.
Yes, it's a tricky one, but I think it's a very odd object.
That's
a
great story. That's a
great
good little story,
isn't it?
I
and I love the idea of it hard enough wrestling to a police station through a hedge.
He went to pint straight afterwards. He's like, "Oh, fucking got away."
Yeah, that's it. You know, I quite like the idea of that. And would he be? I mean, you know. I mean, I know we've got family in rural Ireland, and even sort of like 20 odd years ago. They were, how can I put it? they weren't prone to imagination.
Yeah.
They won't have had that kind of access to things like sort of sci-fi sort of terminology, imagery, things like that. I mean, most of the UK 1950s won't have had that kind of... Yeah, there will have been sci-fi movies kicking about, War of the Worlds, all that sort of stuff.
But you've got to make yourself look like a fucking idiot for saying stuff, innit? You're tiring yourself forever, aren't you?
Yeah,
you'd be shy about making something up unless you're a nutter.
Yeah. So I think he had more to lose than he did to gain by creating such a story. But I also think it's a little bit beyond the average person's... I'm not saying it's beyond this guy's imagination to do it, but I think it's not... It's
leaning that way.
It's leaning, I personally think he's had a very bizarre, true occurrence, which is unfathomable, weird, beyond that.
Imagine if a little Mark came out. Remember Mark?
Was
it Mark from Mark?
Yeah, Mark from Mark.
He came down. Yeah. What was his name? Robin.
Robin
He used to do really bad accents.
Really racist accents.
I'm not going to do any accent. I'm going to fly into him.
Do it back then, Arkin.
You can't now. You can't really. He went at the right time.
Yeah, you get told off, don't you? You know what I mean? Even celebrity bakers are getting told off now, aren't they?
Celebrity bakers?
Well, Greg Wallace.
I don't even know who he is. What's
You
he
don't
done?
know Greg Wallace?
Nope, never heard of him. What's he been up to?
Well, have you seen MasterChef?
Nope.
Well, basically, the guy is horrible. The guy is horrible.
Chefs are knobheads.
Yeah, chefs are generally knobheads. It's all fucking coke and bullying. Coke and bullying. That's chefs for you. Yeah,
that's their life, innit?
Yeah.
He's been doing something dodgy.
He's been doing dodgy for years. You know what I mean?
Has he gone down the Pete kind of Robo Pete end of things?
No, basically what he's been doing, he's just been a bit busy with his hands.
One of those.
And even on screen, and what he's saying to people, he's a wrong
monster.
I wouldn't say a monster. He's just highly inappropriate and constantly inappropriate, and he shouldn't have been on telly from the first place. That's just my take on it. Anyway, I'm sure his court case is coming up soon, but good luck to you, Greg.
Yeah, good luck, Greg. Does he cook for Greg?
I had this little printout that I'd done from Uri Geller.
He can't be a bit of Geller.
Bit of Uri Geller. And I just printed it. This was just in amongst a load of the files and bits that I'd done for the show that I wasn't going to read out. And I just thought, I'll have a quick scan of that. Right, well we're going to go on to the next thing. Uri Geller regarding drones.
Oh.
So this is on about the subject we talked about. So
he's a blagger though, anything, and then he gets it wrong and he fucks off for a year, doesn't he?
All right. Well, that's fair enough, is that? I think you could be right, because what he's saying is that these drones are actually looking for gamma rays.
Shit. Me and Geller on the same road.
That's it. What he's saying is a counter-terrorism operation to track gamma rays potentially linked to weapons of mass destruction. And it's led by the Office of Global Access, OGA, a shadowy three-letter agency, as he describes it, right? Using advanced surveillance and assets to locate and stray nuclear or mass casualty weapons suspected to be hidden along the east and west coasts. He is basically saying, the intel is leaking now, it could be a dirty bomb or worse, already on US soil.
I went down a slippery road, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
How easy it is to do that nowadays.
It's so easy to do it,
easy.
So we can class that almost as breaking news from you know what I mean?
So it's all true.
That's all true, is that? We've done it,
Done it. But that's why Pope opened them portals.
What?
And you seen it Christmas Eve? And you seen this shit?
No, what?
Well, the Pope said, right, he's going to celebrate year 2025.
Yeah.
Because we're all fucking rabid animals. He's going to open this door in the Vatican that hasn't been open for 250 years, and it's going to open up this hope. I think it's hope or something like that.
Yeah.
But they were like, he sits in this wheelchair, and I mean, it's really spooky footage, you know what I mean? And, they're all weirdos behind him. If you look in the crowd, like digital again, there's really weird faces and all this sort of shit, people ripped it apart. Basically, two massive doors open up, he hasn't been open for hundreds of years, but there's a camera looking at the Pope in the room.
Right.
So you just think, wait a minute, how comes there's a camera in there? Then they'll like wheel him in, and he kind of looks shocked at one bit, and they say there's someone walking round in there, and I don't know what the fuck's going on, Skip, but
this is something I'll look into then.
Please, because it's portals and
where did you
TikTok. Oh shit! I'm going to be one of them.
What do you mean gonna be? You already are. Jesus Christ!
Well, he did open it. That is true, though. Yeah, that is true.
Well, what I'll do is I'll do a couple of quickies here. Yeah. That's what we'll do. While we're doing that, I'll give you a quickie. So we've got a quickie there from Eurogella. So we'll do almost like a quickie roundup. Should we just do that?
That's good.
Yeah. So there's been an interesting one here about somebody who's renamed or they've had a baby.
Oh yeah.
So they want a gender neutral name, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what. Well, they wanted something a bit sort of. Do you know some people do made up names, don't they?
Yes.
You know, they wanted something original, right?
Yeah. Someone to get bullied out of school.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So they've named this kid, right, and the mum's sort of like sort of announced it to everyone, this name, right? Mm-hmm. And I want you to try and pronounce it right. The name of this kid is Ashtrae.
Astrish. I don't know.
Ashtrae.
Ashtray. Yes. Ashtray. Yeah. Whoa. That's so grim.
They've named their kid Ashtray.
Right.
But do you know what I think it is? Because they're young. They haven't been in a situation where the ashtray is something kicking about.
Yeah, they've not haven't pieced it together, have they?
They're not put it together.
Dirty ashtray. There's nothing worse on world, is there?
What I love about this, though, right, is that the content editor. I think it must be two names here because it looks like the name is as it's downloaded. It's called Dimitri Osei Tutu Joseph Wilkes. But I think that's two names there. So they're names you don't want to be called.
Yeah.
But Ashtray.
Oh, a little baby
Ashtray. Can you looking at him, a little thing of, baby Ashtray wants the bottle sort of thing, you know.
Baby Ashtray wants a tattoo again.
So that's one little tickler there for you. Another one I found really quite amusing, which is a fairly recent one, is this, and this was this is a story. This is my grandma was so shocked by our Christmas tree that she destroyed it.
Whoa! Right. We're only covered in dildos or something.
Well, this was from The Guardian, right? What I love is that another funny, and this was from Yvonne Lam, right? So I think she's from Vietnam, I believe she is. But her middle name's C, so her name's, as it looks down on here, it looks like Yvonne Clam.
From Vietnam? Yeah. There's a whole book series there, isn't there?
Dr. Seuss. And she says, when my cousins and I were younger, we built a makeshift Christmas tree in our grandma's basement. Christmas was a relatively new celebration for our family. The parents, grandparents, aunties and uncles all arrived in Australia as refugees from Vietnam in the late 70s. And as Buddhists, they didn't celebrate it until kids came along. And of course the kids were there, you know what I mean? They were mixing with other kids. So it's like, Christmas has happened, so I thought we better do something about it. So our tree was fashioned out of cardboard tubes, the kind that hold bolts of fabric, since our family in the textile business.
Nice.
So they sort of sellotaped everything together.
Yeah, you can imagine that. Tree. Yeah.
The body was made of those three of these slender cardboard tubes sellotaped together, right? And then they tied it all at the top and they draped it in tinsel and put a star on the top, right? You know, I think it's pretty nice, right? We thought it was a thing of beauty, right? So one December evening, this fake tree was a centrepiece for our photo booth. So they did like a little photo thing and all that sort of stuff, right? So a cousin was delegated to the role of Santa, another was an elf, and we took turns posing with our festive tableau. And when it was time to go home, we left the tree intact for another day of play and switched off the lights. So they got it all set up, did all that, messed around with it, right? A few days later, we found our Christmas tree had been urgently dismantled. One evening, right, Banois, right, my paternal grandmother, had walked into the basement and got the shock of her life. She was momentarily convinced, thanks to the tinsel twinkling in the dark, that the Christmas tree was Buddha himself. and that she had died and passed into the afterlife.
Whoa. Then why did she attack it? Oh, when she realised it was fucking...
Well, she was so horrified by what she'd seen and realising what it actually was, right, that she just said, we've got to take this down, because it was so... she was so absolutely horrified, right? But the thing is, problem with us, right, and because of how she saw herself within the family structure, her and her family thought she was immortal. She thought, because they just presumed, she's this, almost like Yoda. You know what I mean? You know, they just sort of. I mean, as it happened, she did die. She lasted 20 years after this, right? She died at 99, right?
Wow.
But luckily, the person, they had one person on hand as a palliative care doctor in her final weeks, right? Yeah. What I love about it was the kid who played the elf. It became, it was the kid in all the photographs. When he grew up, 20 years later, became a doctor.
Wow.
And he administered to his...
Which fucking elf? What are you on about?
Well, when they had all photos in the photo, somebody was Santa, somebody was the little elf.
Oh, right, got you now,
Yeah, we're like,
fucking hurting my head. I missed a bit.
Fucking elf! Whoa.
It's not the train.
Yeah.
Show me the elf.
So basically, it was the little Christmas elf, the kid who looked after Grandma in the final years, and she died. You know what I mean?
It's like, ties it up with a lovely Christmas bow.
It does, I think, as well. You know,
I'd have been winding her up all the time. If she was that easy to get wound up about, buddy, you'd do that every year.
That's what you would do. You know what I mean?
Born in fridge.
You think that's it? Your little face would light up, wouldn't it? You just think, yeah. So, what we've got another one here. So we've got another quick roundup special here.
Love it. Keep on flowing.
Keep on flowing here, right? So this is sort of something. This happened just before. This happened just before Christmas. This one, right? And it's and it's really, this is in Cheltenham, right? I don't know if you've been to Cheltenham. It's quite a posh part of Gloucestershire, is Cheltenham, right? So,
races?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They have a horse racing. They have the GGs on there, right? So this is 13th of December, right? There's something quite shocking. Oh, this is thanks to my mate Jim as well. Thanks for sending this one in.
Cheers, Jim.
Yeah. So, and as well, if you do have any little stories yourself that you see, you know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you know, we have them from friends all the time. So send them in KRAKEN COVE PODCAST @gmail.com and KRAKEN COVE POD and places like that. Just have a look for on socials, we're all there. And this was a dead fox has been found, our kid.
Oh,
and I always think,
a shame before Christmas.
That is a bit
run over.
Yeah. Beheaded.
Oh,
beheaded, what? Right?
Well, don't say it's the huntsman.
No, because then they found a sex toy crammed up its arsehole.
Oh, whoa!
A beheaded fox with a dildo right up its arse.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's horrible, isn't it?
That's really bad. Oh my god, that's one of the worst things I've heard. Shit.
But what the fuck is going on there? I mean, first of all, right, you know, if you've killed a fox, right?
Yeah.
Chopping the head off a fox.
That's a grisly act, isn't it?
It's a grisly act.
What are you going to do, like a penknife, or have you got an axe or something?
I don't know. You know, the first thing that came up in mind was a spade, funnily enough. You know what I mean? Get your foot on a spade and get through it, you know.
Yeah.
But then, before or after, was it alive when he got the fucking dildo up its ass?
Me. Fucking gotta be dead. Imagine trying to put a dildo up a fox's ass. Is it up his ass, or is it up a fancy?
Maybe pushing back onto it.
Looking round all foxy.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Like a dirty basil brush.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. With this little tweed suit on.
Yeah. This little book seems to.
Yeah, little tail rises up on it.
Oh man, basil brush. Never thought of that. But I think personally they've done it right at the end. I think whoever's done it has beheaded this fucking fox. Fuck knows how. And whether they've gone around,
that's dark.
Excuse the pun, but tooled up with a sex toy, ready to get it shoved up there, or whether they've
found it in a bush.
And thought, I know what I've done. You remember that sort of dead fox we've seen down the road half a mile? Let's go shove this up its ass. But even then, a fox's ass. Oh. You've got to be holding it by its tail, getting it right up there.
Oh, alive or dead. The whole imagery, I don't know which one's worse, you know.
You've got to be determined.
Yeah.
Regardless, live or dead, right? Even if you found it, you've got to be bloody determined. And you can't tell me it's kids.
I don't want it to be. They need arrested immediately. Yeah. An adult does. The thing is, right, at one point, they've lifted the tail up, they've spat on that fox's ass, haven't they? You can't go dry, can you? It ain't going to work. You need to lift the tail up, spit right on that, maybe part of the fur to get it right on the meat. And they start
honestly.
working a fucking tongue of his ass. Alive on
what? And there's another side, if you do it on your own...
your mum catches you. Vicar's walking down. Oh, hello, Tim. Oh, Jesus.
It's alright, it's dead.
Or he's just willing.
Fuck. Or if you're doing it with your mates, I mean, there's going to be a point where they stop laughing.
Yeah, and stop hanging around with you.
And rumour goes about.
Yeah,
you should say what Tim did. What did Tim do at Christmas? Well, he found this big rubber knob, right? But then he touched it, which is bad enough. If he's found it, right? Then he shoved it up a dead fox's ass that didn't have an head. Fucking hell!
Oh, they need to hunt that person down. That's a danger to society.
They either need locking up or some serious therapy.
Yeah. Locking up on therapy, I say. They shouldn't be released till
it's too extreme.
It really is. It's so dark.
Extreme.
Tiny little fox's bumhole. Is it the bumhole or if the Fangita? Do you got any details?
Bumhole.
Was it a male fox or a female fox? Do you got any?
I've no... I'm looking through here. There's no more details. The same basically says officers were called by a member of the public shortly after 4:30 about the partial remains of a fox that had been left on Springbank Road. They've since removed it.
You just threw it on the road afterwards.
What I love is somebody said it says. Let's have a little look. It says there's a group. It says the animal was discovered by a person walking along the road. It says just seen a horrific sight at the top of Springbank Road. And he wrote, it says decapitated fox with a sex toy inserted into its rectum.
Oh,
how could somebody be so cruel? It says addressing whoever decapitated the fox, they said you are clearly in need of help to do this to an animal, right?
You needed help to get it up there.
And they're coming CCTV of the area as well.
Wow.
Right? It says, and they're saying, praying whoever is responsible gets karma.
As in karma, like Buddy's karma,
but
gets your head chopped off and the sex toy rammed up your ass.
That's what I mean. I
think a fox rammed up your ass.
That could be a thing.
Fox's head.
Because the karma side of it, I just sort of think,
yeah.
You know, we've already said they need help, don't they?
Yeah,
even the person who found it says, look, whoever's done that needs some serious help.
Saying that, you like joining in. You're not quite rising it above it. You're actually joining in the act.
We up at this all happens again.
And I want to watch.
That's what it comes down to.
God, I bet he did it.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's what it comes down to. They want to watch. Because the right thing is, if you were to say to somebody, right, so do you know that person, he chopped off a fox's head and shoved a dildo up its ass. And we've caught him. Have you? Yeah, and we're going to take him to Town Square and do it to him. We're not actually going to chop his head off. We're just going to sort of like do some horrible to his head or something like that. You know,
and then shove some up his ass.
But what we're going to do is we're going to put him in a fox suit, right? And we're going to put him in the stocks, and then we can all throw cabbages at him, and then the right end we're going to shove a massive dildo in his ass. Do you want to come and watch? We're going, yes, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
joining in.
Yeah, they'd want a part of that.
I wouldn't have a pint watching that. No,
because it's horrible.
Just as a fox, it's funny.
That's a nice little touch of me on it.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think it's the details, isn't it?
God, I want more detail. I don't know why, but I just want it alive. You can't have done that to an alive fox.
I sort of want the CCTV, because the good thing is about seeing it on CCTV footage, it'd be a bit blurry.
Yeah.
You'll just see, and you want to see who's done it.
Yeah.
Because you need to find this out. Because if you find him wrestling like fuck with a live fox and he's got dildo in it, and then he's pinning it down and he gets his hacksaw out.
I hope it were dead.
I hope it were dead.
That is mental.
The whole thing about it is just fucking wrong, innit? You know what I mean? So there's a little news round. I feel like
I enjoyed that.
It's all sorts of bits and bobs there. It's almost like a bit of a stocking filler, isn't it?
Little treats. Lots of little treats. Well done, Skip.
I'm weary for the springtime, when we take the road once more, for the planting and the pearling and the berry fields of Blair. We'll meet up with our kinfolk from all the world around, when the gang of bird folk take the road and yellers on the broom. When yellers on the broom, when yellers on the broom, and I'll get you on the road again. When yellers on the broom.
I think it's awful being, anything to do with wildlife, being cruel to wildlife, it's terrible.
Sick,
I mean,
hate it, yeah.
But what happens if wildlife is cruel to us, kid?
Maybe that's karma.
That's it, So we've got a story here, right? This is from Mariasela Harry, she's called, right? It's told to Chris Broughton. And she lives in Malaysia, in Kota Kinabalu, right, in Malaysia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she says, this is her little story. I started running 3 years ago as part of my daily fitness routine. After dropping my son off to school at a morning, I'd head to the Pendana Park near my home in Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia, for a warm-up. The park offered a perfect space for a peaceful reflection at the start of the day. One morning in September, just after my run, I was surprised to spot a group of otters crossing the parking lot. Right. And I couldn't resist capturing the moment on video, marvelling at how endearing these little small creatures seemed to be. It was the first time I'd seen otters in the park, and I sent the video to my friends, gushing about how adorable they were, right? So little did I realise that the footage would soon go viral for reasons I couldn't have anticipated. On the 11th of September this year, I arrived at the park, ready to begin my usual routine. The air was still and the path empty. My feet hit the ground at a steady pace and all seemed serene until something shot out of the drain beside me and a sharp, searing pain erupted from my foot.
Ooh.
At first, I thought I must have startled a stray cat. By the time I realised what had actually bitten me, more otters were pouring out of the drain and sinking their teeth into my feet.
Bloody hell.
Panic surged through me and I thrashed around, collapsing into a sitting position as I tried to fight them off.
Oh no, you don't want to be sitting down on this one.
Yeah. My voice cracked as I screamed for help. The attack was relentless.
Oh God.
There were 10 otters in all.
10 otters vs one woman.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Little
even.
Malaysian woman though, remember?
Yeah,
so she'll be about a 5 footer.
Oh shit, that's pretty even.
I reckon pound for pound, I reckon they are. And the musclier otters, aren't they? Still little fuckers are predators.
Yeah, squirmy.
In all, they were tearing at 10 in all were tearing at my arms, my legs, even the back of my scalp.
Oh shit.
As though driven by some unyielding fury. I struggled, shielding my face as best as I could for what felt like 5 agonising minutes until a couple rushed to help. The wife found an abandoned paint pot and swung it at the otters in attempt of it. It's like Home Alone.
The ultimate cage fight.
Yeah. In an attempt to fend them off, only for some of them to turn on her and her husband instead.
Whoa.
So the otters got angry. I saw it just got angry. They attacked them. As the otters shifted their attention, a third jogger dashed over to help me to escape the area. More people gathered, drawn by the commotion, and the park security guard arrived, wielding an iron rod to frighten the animals away. Bloodied and overwhelmed by pain, I sat on the side of the path in a state of shock, only starting to grasp the full extent of my injuries. Flesh was torn from my arms and blood dripped freely. The couple who'd intervened were also wounded, though their injuries were confined to their lower limbs. An ambulance arrived, and as the 3 of us were taken to hospital, the story was recounted by the paramedics. Their faces mirrored our own disbelief. At the hospital, we were given a precautionary tetanus and rabies shots, and since this was the first recorded otter attack in the state of Sabah, I was placed under observation for a week. During the first few days, I was in a state of exhaustion, struggling to process everything that had happened. As my condition began to improve, the surgical team managed to close the wounds on my scalp and arms, but some of the deeper bites required a second operation. It was 17 days before she could be released.
Bloody hell.
17 days. So she was in there. My body bore the evidence of the ordeal. About 150 stitches stretched across the wounded areas. A stark reminder of the attack. For days afterwards, she had flashbacks, struggles to sleep, right, and she's got PTSD from it all.
Oh, God. Close your eyes, you see them all angry
swarming all over you.
Because that one this year, I think, that lady on a kayak or on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
She got kicked the shit. One otter kicked the fuck out of her, man.
Really?
Yeah, really territorial.
Where was it?
That. America, she was going down a river.
Do you think South America or North America?
I don't know, my friend. The middle bit.
Yeah.
But going down a river, and you're like, oh, cute little otter. And it kind of like starts to climb on boat and then just thoroughly kicks the shit out of her.
Well, you have to be careful because if it was South America, you've got the river otters there. They're as big as I am.
What?
Yeah.
No, this was a little otter.
Yeah.
Oh, God, huge otters.
Yeah, the giant river otters. They're like nearly 6 feet tall.
I just saw it with your face. I'm like,
my right cooking seeds going at you.
Little brown furry Matthew face. 10 of them though, without a tool. That's hard.
Yeah.
Because you're stomping and then one's biting you.
Well,
you're going to fall over.
You're also going to try and hold off a bit because it's otters.
Yeah.
Because there'd be part of your mind going, I don't want to be the guy who stamps a otter to death in a park.
I'll be fucking
Then
stamped.
somebody comes out and corner and just finds dead otters all around you. You don't understand.
You get arrested for it.
Yeah, you get arrested.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're up there with bloody Fox dildo man.
Yeah.
You're the otter stamper.
Fucking hell. Oh man, that's all you got, a dildo.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe you just won.
Oh my God, he got
That's all he had with him at the time.
Yeah.
He was going home for a romantic evening with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Next thing you know,
Fox got him on floor, he's struggling away.
Gnawing at him, biting him, getting him and everything like
his
that.
hand goes in bush. What's that? Dildo.
Yeah.
What that? Right up his jacket.
Yeah.
And bite his head off.
Gnaws his head off at end because all that happened with dildo arse. The fox got enraged. He had to bite, and it was an innocent attack. Fucking hell, we've solved it.
Yeah, it is. It's there, isn't it? It makes sense. The only thing that makes sense in the story.
Yeah.
Otters. If otters can attack.
This is exactly
when
right.
otters attack.
Yeah.
Is it territory then? Do you think? Coming out of a dirty drain.
Yeah. Drain otters. Drain otters. It's like can alligator, isn't it? You know, with all alligators in sewers and all that. This is otters living in fucking drains.
Oh, dirty bites off the
Although that's going to be right nasty little bites.
Have they gone after him?
I don't know. I don't think they've gone after him. I think the thing is as well with them being otters, you can't really. But I'm sure that
can
with a golf club.
Yes. I don't know what would you.
Crossbow.
2 axes. Yeah, that's what I'd go for.
I think, to be honest, the best thing to do with them there, it'd be hard. You need a team of you with sedation guns, wouldn't you?
They're Wrigley a shoot though.
Shotgun. No. I mean just sedate them so that you can cage them and take them out into wilds.
No, the otters must go down.
Why? You were on about right at the start of this story. I'm sure we can rewind this. So you, otters, lovely. I like otters, mate. Next thing you out with the fucking sword off. Fucking you go and hit you on him.
I won't let out your dad.
Homo with a
chainsaw and a sawn off
I almost said homo with a shotgun then.
That could be a really good film.
It could be good, that, couldn't it? Yeah, we won't do the voice.
Let's not.
We were talking before, Arkid, about I can't remember which one, it was the last episode we did, and it was this odd story about somebody sort of, I forget it myself,
yeah.
I'll have to look back on our notes.
Yes.
But this is, somebody who does something, you sort of think, you drop it in, this all went a bit strange, right? So this is woman, right, and she's a writer, and she said, this is I think it's by Stephanie Theobald, right, she's called, right, this was for The Guardian. She goes, I flew from London to New York on Christmas Eve 2014 to spend Christmas Day with Cassie's family. This is a new girlfriend sort of thing, right? Yeah. It's the sort of thing you're supposed to do when you've been going out for someone for 10 years, but I'd only known Cassie for a few months.
Oh, fool.
She came out to her father about dating me, and it didn't go down well. Then, a few weeks later, she told him over a family dinner that I was writing a book about masturbation.
Oh.
Yep, right. Her sister and mother took her aside of the kitchen afterwards and said, "Why didn't you just tell her she's writing a book on travel or something?" Right,
yeah. Right, proud.
So spending Christmas Day together was supposed to smooth things over, but no sooner had we sat down to eat than her father asked me about what I was writing. Maybe he thought I'd changed my mind and gone for something a bit more Downton Abbey. Cassie's sister looked at me intently, daring me to come out with it. And she said, and so I said, I mumbled self-consciously, I'm researching masturbation, right? I had an interview lined up with San Francisco with a pornography star turned sex artist called Annie Sprinkle, right? She's really famous, right? But decided not to mention this. Instead, I muttered something about masturbation being, the foundation of female sexuality and stuff, right? So Cassie's face suggested a firing squad had just entered the room. Her sister interjected, who'd like a pig in a blanket? Right, and she goes, I used to love the Pillsbury Doughboy, like I used to love everything about American food, bubblegum and spray-on cheese and breakfast cereals in lurid packaging. But now the dough tasted like chemicals. Where were my mince pies and bread sauce, I thought? Why was everyone talking about getting rid of the Christmas tree the next day? Right. So basically what's happened is, she's ruined Christmas. She's ruined Christmas. Yeah. She's ruined Christmas, right? And now there's a few points on this, right? She should have just told people she's writing some sort of book, you know what I mean? And just kept it under wraps, right? That's what she should have done. The thing for me is, right, if I said to you now, right, I'm writing a book, Arcade, right? And you go, oh yeah, good for you, because you know me, I've written a good few things, haven't I, in there, you know what I mean? You go, oh, what's it? Is it a nice little horror story? Is it a bit of sci-fi? Is it a bit of an adventure story or something? I said, no, it's about wanking, Arcade, right?
It's such a difference, isn't there? When a female says it, you're supposed to be more like, well, yeah, it's about... wanking's wanking it.
Wanking's wanking, right? And exploring it. How much... Is there a book's worth? Right, two things. Is there a book's worth? Who's going to get the book?
Yeah.
You know? And when she said it's a cornerstone of female sexuality, if I were to say, well, wanking's a cornerstone of male sexuality, it kind of is.
It's a shameful act.
It's like you and your closed eye wank. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's fine, it's natural. It's one of these things that, just about everybody does or has done, or one thing or another, you know what I mean? But it's not to sort of...
write a book about.
It's not to write a book about.
Or even write home about. And she's blending all of it.
It's not something to bring up over the pigs in blankets, Arcade.
Oh, God.
And for her, now she's written a fucking piece for The Guardian telling people about how her book on masturbation has ruined Christmas. I thought, talk about attention seeking.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, you've got nothing really to say except for shock value and
that's
ruining people's Christmas.
That's what it comes down to. So this girl's come out to her parents that she's a lesbian, right? And, fair enough. Fine. Absolutely fine. Brilliant. Good for you. Great stuff. Yeah. But I can also understand some families are going to be a bit shocked by that. You're a bit sort of like Christian and a bit sort of like whatever. And I know some families are absolutely sort of like desperate for those kids to sort of have kids of their own and have fun. And as lesbians, they can do this too. They can have kids and all that. But it's already a bit of a hit to the parents, right? And then they think, we're going to meet the girlfriend. And what does she do then? She writes books about wanking. Now, as a dad, right, I'd be thinking, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, all the fucking Christmas. Yeah, get the tree down.
Yeah, that's it. Get old Pillsbury Doughboy, get all that shit off the table. I'm not bothered anymore. What am I going to do? I'm going to go sit in my shed for a bit and have a bit of a think. Because
why did she say that it all tasted like chemicals and what all about?
Well, I think basically what she's saying is that she knew full well she'd ruined the American Christmas. All this stuff that she'd been really sort of like really looking forward to, but she ruined it for herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then rather than keeping it to herself, this little shameful thing, she's written a fucking piece for The Guardian about it.
Unbelievably painful.
These people, the narcissists.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think as well, wanking is a fairly private thing. If you did it in public, you're going to get done. Yeah. So a big part of this narcissism is sharing this idea that wanking and her being an expert on wanking, and writing a book on wanking. It's this thing of this. It's a narcissistic. The whole thing's a narcissistic sort of like a product of herself here, where she's good. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And everyone's looking at her, and she says, "Oh, so embarrassed that everyone's looking." She wasn't embarrassed. I think it was the crowning glory for her to sit there at the table with all that.
Couldn't wait to get it out.
Yeah, no, she couldn't. You know, like, a little face, a little. I'd love to do like a little sort of like, you know, for a pulse rate and things like this. You know what I mean? The excitement level for her to get it out about this book on wanking.
And to contact Annie Sprinkles as like a big part of your book. You're like, fucking really? You know what I mean?
I know, you know, I mean, it's Annie Sprinkles. I mean, I like the way she went about it. She's a big part of the New York sort of like sex scene and stuff like this. You know what I mean? I think she I don't know whether there's Annie Sprinkles. One of them was the one who actually sort of moulded fucking all these dicks and stuff like that. But Annie Sprinkles was part of the cabaret and out there.
I thought she just weed on people.
Well, she did as well. She did loads of porn films for stuff like that. You know, but I think she became something a bit of a sexologist herself, realising because she was, you know, finding out about. I think it must have been really interesting in a way, finding out about all people's different sort of sexual wants and mores and things like that. And she celebrates it, you know. And I sort of think, right, great. She's sort of providing a pretty big service. Some people what's pissing on, they're going to give her £1,000. Good lucksy whammy. You know what I mean? All that kind of malarkey. Sprinkle away. But this woman, if she says, I'm doing a film on pissing, and then she proceeded to piss all over Turkey. You know what I mean? You know that.
You know it's going to be a shit book as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? No. I bet it's a painful read.
Would you read a book, right, by a bloke, written about wanking and about his
I remember want to be sick.
I don't want to know. But when it becomes a woman doing it, it's sort of not. She's thinking it's all right.
Well, it's just wanking, isn't it? Rubbing one off.
And it's afterwards. You know, you got to think, oh, I'm having a wank now. Oh, no.
Smell your fingers, love. Go on.
So that's her Christmas. That's her Christmas there.
Really ruined mine, and now we're in a box.
Having your close-eyed wank. Don't write a book about that. Imagine that. Right, so just give us a taste of what your book's about, Arcade. Go on. Go on.
Me? Right, first of all, you sit back and get your drawers down.
Go on.
Flop it out, then close your eyes. Then you start thinking about big, luscious boobies. Then I spray my own belly, and then I open my eyes, and I feel... and I think, oh, I've got to clean all that up. Where's the tissue? Oh, shit, it's in the bathroom. Then I've got to do, you know, that walk when you got to trolley. The waddle
of shame.
With my t-shirt pulled up, hoping no one's going to come round corner.
Also known as the sticky belly flap cock.
That's the one.
Yeah, because if kids come out and see you like that,
kids come down, I'm like, no, don't look.
It's not what you think.
And their eyes go white and they can't ever see again. I get to the bathroom, like mop up, and then I've forgotten a bit, and a little later on I think, oh, what's that crusty bit? And I think, oh, it's my own shame. It's all over my belly. It's shameful belly.
So when's your book come out?
Next week. It's called Shameful Belly. My shameful belly. Fucking my shameful belly. I can come out of my mouth. I can't believe I can say so. My shameful belly. Be better than hers is that. Boom.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Absolutely brilliant. Well then, Kid.
I'm glad it's that time, Skip.
It's been a weird one, hasn't it? We've been everywhere. We've animal attacks. We've had attacked animals.
That fox.
Fucking horrible, isn't it?
Oh man.
Well, what I think we need to know now, because, you know, I think a lot of what we're seeing is like humans being fucking dreadful, aren't we?
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing. And humans have caused sort of lords of aggro, but I think we should go back to the natural world in a way, in this sort of way, in a roundabout kind of way, right? And I want to talk about beautiful stones. Beautiful stones. And
you like a stone?
I do like geology. I like all that sort of stuff, and I love looking at things like that. Sort of, you get all sorts of really beautiful things out there in the natural world, naturally made.
Yeah.
But then I want you to look at a stone. So if you're buying a piece of jewellery for something, right? You obviously talk about diamonds. You talk about, but what is more beautiful than a stone known as Fordite? There's a stone called Fordite, right? I'm going to show you a quick picture of a stone called Fordite. So get yourself. I'm just going to fold this down here, right? So this is what Fordite looks when it's polished up.
Wow, it's like rock from seaside, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, it looks tasty.
Yeah, but this is a stone.
Multi-layers of beautiful colours.
Beautiful colours in it.
It's like a painting, oil in water, isn't it? That kind of.
That's exactly it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, Fordite it's a natural. Well, it's not a natural stone.
All right.
It's man-made.
Weird.
Now, the weird thing about this particular stone is, right, it only comes from one real source. It comes from mostly from Detroit.
Right.
Does this, right? And do you know what the nickname of Detroit is?
Rock City?
No, Motor City.
No,
Motor City, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why this is called Motor City is because this is where they build cars.
Yeah.
You build cars, you build all these cars and everything like that. And of course, one of the big additions to the car is the colour.
Yes.
So you're spraying up cars.
Yeah.
In these big, massive motor plants, right? These huge automatic. What they do is they spray the cars, and they have like a heating, harden it up to harden it all up, right? So have these massive spray booths for these cars, and colour after colour after colour get sprayed. All these cars and laid up. The interior of the spray booths, over years and years and years, even decades. There's a build-up of paint.
God.
Hardened, wonderful, tough, strong paint gets layered up, right?
Getting heated.
And what they do is they chip it off and start again.
Yeah, because the room's going to disappear in it.
Yeah. And so what happens to these wonderful acrylic lacquers that were used in the 1950s and 1960s in cars, right? These great, beautiful cars on the big old sort of Plymouths and sort of like, and all the Cadillacs and stuff like this. Built up to these wonderful layered rock eventually.
So look at
and
that.
That's what Fordite is. Fordite is these chunks of this material which has been taken away as being I mean, it's quite tricky in some places because they polish these stones up. Some of these do actually contain lead, obviously, because the paints did contain lead. But these wonderful stones are now being used for jewellery. They're not allowed to use it in California because they've got strict regulations, but it's not actually toxic. It has got lead in it, but it's not toxic if you're wearing it, if you're polishing it, if you're polishing it, you've got to be careful. You've got to wear breathing masks and stuff like that.
That's the one.
But what I wanted to point out in this, and the whole idea of talking about Fordite, is this is something man-made, a product of the car industry, but we've made something beautiful out of it. You know what I mean? We've done everything, the product of everything we do isn't always awful and dreadful. And although you can say there's a certain amount of toxic substances in these paints and stuff, the reality is once polished up, I mean, in a lot of natural stones, I mean, you look at, we were talking before about radioactive material, there's a lot in the natural world which you can't, lead is a natural thing, you know what I mean? So, it's on loads of houses, it used to be in our pipes for water and things like that, but we have used these materials all through our lives and things, but this is the use of a particular byproduct.
Well, I was about to say it's a byproduct that you can turn like art like that. It's beautiful.
Turn it into art.
And that bit when they didn't really know about it, that it were happening, and then over the cleaning or just doing something, the idea comes. You just think, what else is out there that's like that?
Yeah, accidental byproducts of our behaviour, which can be turned into something beautiful, or I think it's a little bit of a ray of hope for me. Is this?
Yeah.
The idea that you can actually take something which was considered bad and make something good out of it. I think we should be a little bit more like that. Look at all the things we've made. I mean, to me, one of the greatest things we do is when old battleships and things like that. You can either cut them down and recycle them, or, as a lot of people do, you take out the engine, all the oils and stuff, and then just sink them. Yeah. And then they're turning it natural reefs.
Like coral reef.
And so that's a good thing that we do sometimes and things like that. You know, there are things out there which become sort of like pieces of nature, and it can be used by nature again.
That's a good ray of hope for 2025.
In 2025, so that's a little thing we're going to finish. Is a little piece of, get yourself, if you want a bit of something beautiful in your life, which isn't necessarily mined from anywhere. It's just like a recycling project. Get yourself a nice piece of Fordite as a bit of jewellery,
like that.
And those colours, those little rainbow colours. One of them might have been like a Chevy Impala. One of them might
have been Christine.
Could have been Christine. Yeah,
I'm thinking that bright red.
Like, could have been American muscle cars. There might have been the same spraying. Might have been one of these great things where people have got in a little old Ford car or a little car somewhere and gone off up in the American redwoods and travelled around for a picnic.
You know, a Pimp's Cadillac.
A Pimp's Cadillac. So you don't know where all these little each of these little layers, almost like the layers in a tree, like tree rings. Each one of these layers is a colour that was used to produce a particular vehicle at a particular time, and those vehicles are probably all gone now. The only thing that's left now is beautiful rainbow patterns of Fordite.
Beautiful, Skip. Well done.
We go,
refreshing little. Yeah. Well, we've gone everywhere.
We have. We've gone up Fox's arseholes.
As good as it is, though, Skip, I think I'm going to get back in my box.
I think the box is a good idea. You know what I mean? We've got some bad weather coming up now.
I've heard that. Yeah,
we've got a bit of bad weather on its way. I think the best place for you is in a box under the stairs with a bottle of Scotch arcade.
And start writing my book.
And you start writing your book on wanking. I think that's a really nice thing, you know. Whereas for me now, I'm going to be finally getting on with some new art.
Ooh.
Which is going to be interesting. I've got a lot of new art coming up in the new year.
Any teasers? Have you got one?
I am very much into the medieval woodblock I'm into at the moment.
Nice.
I'll just show you the piece I've got. This is stained red at the moment, but that is a nice piece of cherry wood, is that there?
Cherry wood?
So I've got cherry wood there.
Cherry,
I discovered that there's
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
looks like it's been painted.
It has been painted.
Oh, fuck off. You said cherry and it's red.
It's
I thought,
cherry, but that red, I've painted that, so the one when I cut through into the wood you can see where I've been. And I'm going to be doing a nice little scene with that, so it's like that. I'm working on the sketches. That's what I'm doing this afternoon. Working on sketches for this particular scene, and hopefully we'll have a fresh piece of art there in the new year.
Yeah, don't forget to change my whiskey bottle. Though.
I'll change your whiskey bottle. We'll keep up with that. Yeah, for 4 or 5 hours. That we'll do that. Yeah. So we'll just every 4 or 5 hours. Fucking hellfire!
I'm getting tolerant.
I know that's the issue. Though. Let's hope your just liver and kidneys don't all pack him while you're in there. I'll keep sniffing the box to make sure you. So it's good to be back, and hopefully we will try it. I'll try and keep Benny awake now.
Yeah, I'm going to really try. Sorry again, guys.
Every time I need to, I'll drag him out of his box and we'll do a new podcast.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening all through 2024. Keep listening through 2025. And all he's going to say is a big bye-bye from Matt.
And it's a bigger bye-bye from Benny. Happy New Year, guys.
There are 3 ways you may contact Kraken Cove. Either by email at krakencovepodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter @Kraken Cove, or Instagram @Kraken Cove Pod. Ha ha!